All right, welcome to Drew Pearson Live. I am the original number 88, Drew Pearson, and we are looking forward to a really exciting show today for you. We have our special guest, the man behind all the growth in Frisco. The wonderful Mayor Masso is here with us, and he's going to tell us about all the great things going on in Frisco. We also have our friend. He calls himself the coolest guy in town. I thought that was me, but I guess we'll give it to Paul Salpin. And he's going to give us a look into the movie Black Sea, and we'll see his interview with Oscar award-winning director Kevin McDonald. You don't want to miss that. And in our Hail Mary segment, we have Billy Ray Smith. Now, this is a true Hail Mary hero because he's a former star athlete from Kansas State who is fighting to walk again. And we'll have all that coming up. But first, how about a little Dallas Cowboy news? DeMarco Murray has made no bones about calling the Dallas Cowboys his family, and he has a desire to return to the team and help them get to the next level. Good luck, DeMarco, because we need you. On another front, a serious Dallas Cowboy fan has filed an $88 billion lawsuit against the NFL after Dez Bryant's catch was overturned by instant replay. Terry Hendricks, an inmate in Colorado, submitted the handwritten lawsuit, saying the review and reversal was fraud and gross negligence, causing gross injury to his beloved Dallas Cowboys. Well, all I can say about that is don't mess with Cowboy fans because Cowboy Nation is real strong. We've got a great show for you today. Get ready because Drew Pearson Live starts right now. Hut, hut!
Drew Pearson Live is brought to you by Whataburger. The Chicken Strip Monterey Melt is a brand new spin on legendary flavors. Get it while you can at Whataburger.
All right, welcome back to Drew Pearson Live. Joining me now is Doc from the A&E Show. And Doc, good to see you again.
How you doing, Drew?
Hope you had a good week.
Fantastic.
Right on.
Yourself?
Not much going on in the world of the Cowboys. Things have been pretty quiet lately, haven't they?
No, pretty quiet. The only news out there seems to be that the possibility of reworking Tony Romo's contract and opening up a little bit of cash flow to maybe sign some of the other guys. So that'll be interesting to hear.
You know, as I said in the open, DeMarco Murray, he really wants to be a Dallas Cowboy. So I think he's willing to take less to do that. But the Cowboys got to step up and make it attractive to him to stay here.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last week about how he feels like this is his family. He's really committed to the Cowboys. He feels the Cowboys are basically part of his family at this point. And I think knowing that, I think it's going to make it a lot harder for them to, not get him signed. And of course, you have Dez hanging out there and a couple other guys that I know they'd like to sign as well.
Yeah, they got quite a few free agents, unrestricted free agents they got to deal with. So it's going to be a busy offseason for the Cowboys. But, Jerry Jones is in the mode that he sees this window of opportunity, there now. Mm-hmm. He knows his quarterback is 34 years old, not going to have many years there. And he saw what made him successful this year at having his best season as a Dallas Cowboy was the fact that he had people around him. So he's got to be smart enough to keep those people around him and find a way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, very smart. I mean, I thought DeMarco a few years ago was a steal in the draft. I thought he was a great running back. Of course, he had his history of injuries coming in, but he stayed relatively healthy this year, outside of the issue with his hand, but he even played through that. But the fact that they were able to get Martin from in the draft, and I mean, that guy is just an animal, and solidify that offensive line, really made it easier for Tony this year coming off of back surgery, and the running game, I mean, was unbelievable. And of course, that just made the passing game even better because Tony is fantastic when it comes to play action.
Yeah, he is. He's one of the best ball handlers in the National Football League. So those are the kind of things going on with the Cowboys, and that'll continue through the offseason. We'll make sure we stay on top of that for our viewers through you, Doc, and your insightful information. But let's talk about what's going on out there in Glendale, Arizona. The media day was a media circus, with Marshawn Lynch doing his thing and Richard Sherman wanted to make comments that it turns everybody's head and gets headlines in the newspaper. And you got Michael Bennett now, Martellus' Bennett brother. He's acting like a fool on the stand. And a lot of the players are trying to take advantage of this opportunity to exploit themselves, everybody except Marshawn Lynch. Your opinions on his performance on the opening of Media Day?
Drew, I'm just here so I won't get fined. Okay? But, you know, I think it's not unusual for Marshawn Lynch. I mean, he's had this history. He doesn't want to talk to the media. He doesn't want to deal with the media. And I think, you know, we were talking a little bit off air, if the media just kind of starts to ignore him, then I think you may see him starting to seek out the media. I mean, the guy's a great player. You can't question his ability and what he does and what he brings to that Seattle team. But because there's no way Seattle is where they are without him.
No, there's no question about that, and he knows that too. And you know, so he's going to play this out as long as he can. But in my opinion, you're a professional. You're paid to do a job. Part of that job is to talk to the media. But here's the deal with Marshawn Lynch. You know, he comes from a tough background. His father actually is in prison right now, serving a 24-year sentence for robbery. So, you know, he's come through a tough childhood. So the NFL needs to understand that. And maybe instead of fining him, sit down with him and get to know the man, Marshawn Lynch, and then maybe the NFL will have more leniency in him not wanting to talk.
Yeah, I also think, I think the teams have a responsibility too. I think internally, I think that, you know, Seattle should have somebody sitting down and talk to him, you know, about it and just how to handle it. You know, make it easier for him to handle and say, look, just tell him, say, look, we know you don't want to talk to the media, but you know, it's a necessary evil in today's world. And you don't want to come off looking the way you're looking and making us look bad either. So I think there's just as much on the teams, the individual teams with these and handling these players as there is with the NFL.
Well, we only got about a minute left, so we won't get into Deflategate with the football because that's going to take longer than a minute to deal with. But more talk about Marshawn Lynch, the football weight, and all that kind of stuff. What about the game coming up? Your prediction, you know, we had a prediction last week. Do you still stick by that?
Yeah, I'm still sticking by that, and I think, you know, you and I have talked a little bit off air about, I think it's definitely going to be a defensive game. I mean, even with the, you know, the flashy kind of high-powered offense that New England has, I think this is going to be a defensive game. I mean, we saw what the New England defense did to Indianapolis, and Indianapolis, you know, for most of the year was the #1 offense in the league. And that defense just absolutely shut them down.
They certainly did.
So I think, you know, it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think I'm going to give the edge to New England.
New England, you're staying with New England.
I'm going to stay
with New England too. We'll see what happens with that as far as our predictions are concerned next week's show. So we'll see how that plans out. I want to thank you, Doc, for taking the time. Good, insightful information. Good stuff as always. Up next, right here in the Drew Pearson Live, our Hail Mary hero, Billy Ray Smith. He's a former two-sport athlete from Kansas State, and his goal is to walk again. Stay tuned right here, Drew Pearson Live.